Welcome to the Diary of a Homeschooler. I'm Rachel, a second-generation homeschooling mom to 5. Here, we explore the good, the bad, and the weird of our homeschooling journeys. On some episodes, you'll hear me chatting with people from around the nation to tell their homeschool story and why it matters. Other episodes are just my raw, real, honest thoughts and opinions coming from someone who's been there, done that, and still has so much to learn. So, as we get into it, I just want to say thank you for listening. Hello, everybody. So, it is May 2026, and I currently have 59 subscribers on my Substack. Now, I started my Substack last year. I believe it was spring of last year. And I have loved that it has become the diary of a homeschooler because I love to write. So the articles are short, 1 to 2 minutes, and they're just thoughts and questions and tips and tricks and just all the things, But it was brought to my attention lately. Somebody said, Rachel, I love listening to podcasts and YouTube. As a homeschool mom, I'm busy and I don't even have the time to sit down most days to read the articles. Would you be interested in recording them? So I was like, you know what? That's actually a genius idea. So this is the first episode of me reading my Substack articles. This article in particular goes back to April 14th, 2025. And I have titled it Curiosity Over Coffee, Why Small Talk Might Be Deeper Than You Think. How asking the right questions turns simple conversations into something meaningful. So before I get into the article, I want to let you guys know that I was, at the time, reading the book The 6 Conversations by Heather Holleman, and it is a fantastic read. It just opens your mind to how you should be having conversations to really get to know people. I feel like so often, or more often than not as homeschoolers, even just millennial parents in general, we tend to isolate ourselves, say, it's so hard finding friends, we can't find, mom friends. But I think the bigger question is, are we asking the right questions to get to know people? But it all starts with small talk. So this is just my huge takeaway after reading the 6 Conversations, which I highly recommend. I loved it so much. And this 100% will be required reading for my high schoolers. For all of my kids, when they enter high school, they will absolutely be reading it because it was just fantastic. So I definitely recommend it. All right, let's get into the article. Dear Diary, I know small talk gets a bad rap. People love to say, ugh, I hate small talk. It's so meaningless. But I'm going to push back on that because here's the thing. How do you get to know someone without small talk first? We don't just dive into someone's childhood trauma over a cup of coffee. I mean, unless you're really brave. Most relationships begin in the most casual, seemingly surface level exchanges. Talking about the weather, your weekend plans, your go-to coffee order. But those small things, they're doorways. They tell you, hey, this is a safe place to connect. Here's what I've learned. If you really want to have deep, meaningful conversations with someone, it starts with genuine curiosity, not interrogation, not oversharing, just curiosity. Now, I am one to overshare, so I have to really focus on what I want to say or what I should say. Ask the kind of questions that make someone pause and say, give me a second. Because that moment of pause, that's the good stuff. That's someone thinking, not performing. That's where connection grows. A few things I've noticed. Some of the most thoughtful people I know take a minute to answer. They're not avoiding the question, they're considering it. You don't always have to ask deeply personal questions to get deep answers either. Sometimes asking, what do you think about a certain situation, reveals more than what happened to you. Not everyone will mirror your curiosity, and that's okay. You can still respond thoughtfully and keep the conversation going in a way that feels honest and kind. Recently, a few months back, I met someone who quickly became a close friend, and it all started with light conversation. Before we knew it, we were tossing around thoughts like, hey, this happened to me, what would you do, or what's your take on that? No pressure, no expectations, just openness. And let me tell you, it felt so rare and so refreshing to be able to respond or not respond openly, honestly, without receiving judgment, but instead a more curious question on top of that. So, what's my takeaway? Let small talk be the on-ramp. Be genuinely curious. Don't be afraid of silence. It often means someone is thinking deeply. And remember, good conversation isn't just about getting to know them, it's also a way to let them know you. So I'd love to know, what are the questions you ask when you're trying to get to know someone? And I have 5 questions of my own that actually bring you closer. So I want to share those with you today. Question 1 is, what's something small that made you feel really seen lately? Oh, I love this one because it could go so deep, or just be surface level and still be good. Question number 2, what's a hill you die on that no one else seems to care about? Now, I really love this one and genuinely only ask it when I'm feeling spicy. Question 3, if you could relive one, quote, ordinary day, unquote, from your life, which would it be? Oh, as homeschoolers, our days can feel ordinary or mundane, but when we look back on them, we can truly pick out the beautiful moments from each of those days. So this is a great one as well. All right, question 4. What did you believe about the world as a kid that you still kind of believe now? And then question 5, what question do you wish people would ask you? There we go. There we have it, the whole article. Stay curious, stay kind, let conversations grow. And until next time, your second generation homeschooler, deep thought thinker, and lover of a really good chat, Rachel. Thanks for joining me, guys.